So anyway, yeah, I'm just doing a bit of looking around before I start work. I probably should be on the computer doing it's almost the end of the month, so I have to get my magazine done, and I have to I was supposed to make some sales calls today, but I couldn't be bothered. I've got a headache, and I start my shift work today. So from tomorrow to Thursday or Friday, I don't have to do any shift work, and so I'm like, but I have a few things to check today. I have to spend my evenings doing a bit of study as well as exercise. I can do exercise and study, but I'm usually tired, and so exercise is what I like to do when I'm tired, essentially. But I don't know. I think I'll figure it out. But this is a paddock. Everything looks a little well mown. But I'll just see what I have to chop down. I have to chop down this flurry of weeds and that flurry down there where that two trees are together. My next projects. Essentially all this needs to be cleared. You can get there, it just takes a while. I don't know, but it's so hot today that sun is burning. It could be summer. It definitely feels like summer. It could definitely be summer, okay? Gotta roll up my sleeves and show my arms. I gotta go to the doctor's tomorrow because, and while there, I might check to see if the meal has anything for me. I literally got 3 things there and I have no idea what it is. One of them might be my Myers order, but I only just made it and I can't believe that they delivered within a couple of days. But you never know. Maybe they're like, oh, another purchase from our favorite customer and give you a free express or something. Because I've made several my purchases within the last month and not cheap either, quite expensive. But I'm also looking for Amazon stuff, and so I received a notification the other day that a portion of my Amazon's being delivered by Australia Post, and I was like, really? So it could be some Amazon stuff. Most of my Amazon stuff, I've got 2 kind of large paint boards. So I might see if I can pick them up tomorrow and ask my whoever drives to have their phone nearby so that they can pick me up if it's too heavy. That might be an idea because I'm not really expecting anything. I did buy a pair of overalls. They're made out of cotton and recycled cotton. Either way, it's cotton. They might be denim-like, but I'm expecting them to be kind of cool. Whereas the one on eBay, which were like more than twice as cheap, it was only $20 instead of $60. I think they have polyester. And so I bought the higher price for the cotton fabric, and with the expectation that you'll be able to possibly wear them even in summer because of the cotton fabric. So that's my idea. But as I said, that's just an idea. I'm not sure if it's a fact or a fiction. I just believe that was the contrast between eBay and, because eBay has a lot of imported stuff from China, and a lot of their goods, when it says cotton blend, it's usually like cotton mixed with polyester, and that can be quite a hot fabric, and you're like, what's better, cotton and polyester or cotton and cotton? So I made my choice. I said, no, this one sounds like a bit cooler, I might be able to wear it in summer. It's basically for gardening, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm not that keen on wearing $60 overalls for in the garden, so I might still use my crappy pants and use them for just general wear. But ideally, it was for gardening, and I put that in inverted commas because I might change my mind and be like, "Oh, I can't use such nice pants for gardening." Ideally, it's to give a snake a bit of a hard time in case one springs out of nowhere, but I don't know. I've got crappy pants too that are used to getting bendies and grass seeds and everything, so this is all lantana that's grown since we stopped mowing and cutting this area, which was a while ago. There's a nice big, I'm so glad that we have passion fruit, because I missed the passion fruit vine that so-and-so cut down for no particular reason. I think they should have kept it where it was. At least we'd have some passion fruits that are perfectly delicious. But we have two more. We got this one and the one up there. So, but yesterday I was told, oh, these probably are not anise. They said, oh, it's probably bindies. But I sort of was pulling the flower bud stems, thinking, oh, is it a bindi amongst the anise? And I'm like, nope. It's directly attached to the anise, so I'm pretty sure it's anise that's growing. So when the flowers turn white, and you know, I was complaining yesterday because I was like, wait for them to grow up till big, because they were like, chewing on it like parsley and picking and chewing, not realizing the anise taste. And I'm like, well, just wait till they're bigger. Knee height, say, or ankle height at least, and I think the anise taste comes from the flowers. So in this case, I don't know if the star anise is the same as the anise that we used to know, but it should come more from the flowers and the flower seeds than the stems. Maybe it'll be like coming from the stems, which is an extended flower stem. Maybe that's where you get the taste from, but she's just nibbling on the leaves, and I'm like, oh, I think that's the bottom. Just wait for it to grow up a bit more, and then you'll get the nice taste. But she was like, no, it's a bindi, and I was like, oh no, I think you're just eating it when it's too young, and I regretted telling her that I've got a niece growing. It was supposed to be exciting, and then it turned depressive, and then I was angry, and then I just didn't want to talk to her. Because I don't think she's hardly ever right, and I don't really appreciate my plants being picked and chewed on, spat and picked again, while they're just tiny little growing from, tiny little babies. I'm like, just wait till it grows up, okay? Because, it's so annoying that you've got a healthy stock of, the anise growing, and then they're just like picking it and ruining it. It's like you can pick it when it's bigger, and that's when it'll probably have the taste, and most of the taste is contained in the seeds, and then you can collect the seeds, and then you can replant it and replant it again and have healthy plants all over the place. And I'm like, geez, you can just contain yourself, because she's just trying to prove, oh no, it's not anise. It's like, pretty sure it is. That's where I planted the anise. It's a little bit of a wild planting though, because I dropped some of the anise seeds when I was ready for planting, and some of them just fell on the ground, and I was like, oh, I can't do anything about that. And so they're growing from just seeds that fell on the ground. So talk about like a light covering, which is amazing. But yeah, I wouldn't mind anise growing all over the place, but I don't know, that's it. It can all be probably transferred from the one patch of anise. But I know, a little inconsiderate because I was just trying to be like, oh, pride in my growing, and then they're like, it's not an ease, it's a bending. Let's just pluck a few things and nibble at them. Oh, spit. No, it's not an ease. It doesn't taste like an ease. As you can see, it's a little bit of infuriating because you're trying to be proud, and they're like all negative and testy. And then I got stroppy, and I didn't want to talk to them. Yesterday afternoon, I was like, screw them, and I looked up an ease and the growing what do you call it? Time when you speed up time or whatever. I got some videos up from growing it from seed to turn into a plant, and it's like, yes, the flower bits do grow up, and that's the tasty bit of the anise. So I'm just waiting for it to flower. I'm pretty excited that it flowers so quickly. I must have planted them at least 2 months ago, if not 3. But it must have been at least 2. I've just been watering them often and making sure they stay watered. I would be so happy to see if any of the apple blossom seeds grow. But I don't know if they will. But if they do, that would be nice. Because I planted them in the ground with the idea that they're not going to grow at all. And so if you ever get any apple blossom seeds, it's like, yes, I put the peaty things in the soil, so maybe a earthworm will crawl through it and make it alive or something. But yeah, I'll literally put it in the soil, so little ants and things are going to crawl through it, and maybe the seeds will come to life eventually, but I don't know. Yeah. So I just basically put them in the soil and see if they grow. One of the putty forms crumbled, so I put it in instead of in a messy crumble form. That one might grow before the other one, but I don't know, I'm just hoping to see if they do grow from being suddenly buried in the real soil. And I've got a few more seeds left over from the stock because I didn't really have successful pre-planting, and I think it was because I tried to germinate it in the fridge, and it didn't work. I think it kills the seeds. I think I've had that issue before with apple blossom seeds. The bonsai version, when you put it in the fridge, they don't seem to be growing anymore, and so I'm like, oh, I think that kills it. And so anyway, if we get like any little apple blossom seeds growing, it'll be interesting. So I put it near the edge of the chook pen, with the idea that if it grows, I'll notice. So I'll just keep watering the spots when and let the rain fall, and already looking after like some of the bushes and the plants that are growing nearby. So all I need to do is sort of water while I'm watering the anise, which is my proud garden spot. Literally, I'm decorating the chicken pen with whatever I feel like growing, but yeah. This could be a garden here. It's not really growing anything, but it could easily be turned into like a garden. Have some flowers. Flowers that like sun and shade. Not aloe vera because we have enough, but something. But no one waters down here. That's the only thing. So we could have planted the cactus down here, but we didn't. I couldn't believe it was just thrown away because they're expensive cactuses. I was like, how could you throw that little cactus away? I would have grown it. I left my cactuses with other relatives. Yeah, so maybe I'll get them back one day. They probably desperately need to be put into new pots and things, and yeah. They're thinking about moving into another rental because they don't like the responsibility of a apartment, and they haven't had a single storm. And I'm like, really? I mean, I was told, oh, they're only earning $65,000 a year, and they can't afford, $1,800 a month on the apartment, and they're not even insured yet. And I was like thinking, wait till you get insurance to protect your apartment from damage. So yeah, they don't want to live there anymore apparently. Anyway, that's another story. So I'm like thinking, stupid, because you're going to be spending around the same amount anyways on rent. You just don't have to be responsible for it. So it's like, oh, what are they really trying to say? Because they're going to leave this apartment they own, spend the same amount of money on an apartment they rent, only they don't own it anymore. So, and you're like going, what is this really going to mean for them? I'm a little bit jealous because I haven't ever walked into a house or an apartment and never met a cyclone. Literally within 2 weeks I meet a cyclone, and then I'm losing everything. Like, because the house insurance goes $2,000, $3,000 a week, $4,000 a week, $5,000 a week. It doesn't stop climbing, and that's just after one storm. And you're like going, and they haven't had those issues. I'm like secretly jealous. I'm like, oh, if that were my apartment, I would have been affording it kind of pretty easily, and be feeling lucky that I have an apartment that's not being subjected to storms. I mean, I could be totally wrong. Maybe they have insurance and it's going up, but I would be like, oh, they're lucky, and then they're earning $65,000 a year, and I'm like, oh, that's lucky. So I don't know what to say, but it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like they could have been living there if they bothered to, because I mean, they're gonna pay the same amount on rent, and then you're like, stupid, unless you get a really crappy rental. And believe me, there are crappy rentals. I mean, if you believe in the word crappy and rental, it's cheap. There are so many crappy rentals, and you can feel it's crappy, and it's like, no, it's not gonna make you happy to drop that to live in a crappy rental. And if you don't choose a crappy rental, it's just gonna be a rental, and then you're paying exactly the same amount. So I don't know. What are you gonna say? Are they gonna just? I don't know what to say. What is that? What is that really? What is that sound? Got some sort of bird up there. What is it? Try and get the sun out of my face. Wow. I don't know what sort of bird that is, but it must be a shy bird. But if they drop it all to live with a girlfriend or something, I would be like so blown away. that could be the shock surprise, but I don't think it is. I don't think that's what they plan to do. I think they plan to live without the responsibility of an apartment, and then they're going to spend just as much on a rental, and then in 50 years' time. But the good thing about rentals is that you can move here, there, and everywhere. So if they want to live somewhere else, they will be able to, with ease. That's a good thing about a rental. And the good thing is if you encounter a huge storm, you won't be slumped with health insurance either. So those are two good things. But I don't know, it sort of reminds me of myself and my living circumstances. My aim is to live. I would say my aim is to save money, but I keep on doing laziness in the evenings where I should be doing stage 2 of whatever duties that I'm supposed to do to earn some cash. So whether it's writing or whatever. So you're going, technically I should be on the computer, or technically I should be doing something towards earning more with my evenings, but instead I watch TV and I lay on my bed saying, no, I'm exhausted, I'll wait till tomorrow to be refreshed. So technically I'm being a bit, if I were by myself though, I would get into the routine of being computer day, computer evening, have a few hours sleep, computer day again, yeah. And I would buy myself a gaming machine without anyone speculating, why are you buying another computer? You've got 2. Why do you need a 3rd one? And it's like, oh, I secretly remember being a gamer at some stage and a bit of money, and and I was quite good, and I've got the time to do it, especially in the evenings when I don't really want to do anything else. And so I did get to be a bit of a gamer at some stage, and so I'm like, yeah, maybe I will get a gaming machine and be a bit of a gamer in the future. I mean, I'm already a bit of a gamer now, but not really very successfully at the moment. But I should get into the gaming that I do a little bit more. But then you've got the gaming machines that give you open space to game on different platforms on the machine. And then you're like, I used to do gaming. It used to be kind of addictive because I'm actually quite good. So I was like, there, I can pick up, some cash from that too. And then I can have all my plates covered, and by then I'll be like, shoot. All I have to do is be kicked out of here though, and I'll get back into inner city lifestyle. And I'll be like, here I am, coming back and jumping around a lot more. Here I'm unstable, but I'm sort of like feeling like I wish I could get kicked out, because I'm not very comfortable moving my stuff here, and I'd rather it here than over there, because I spent a year without my stuff and I wasted a year not selling anything. And anyway, I'm gonna get inside and get ready for work.